Hello everybody, October 28th, 2022. Let's take a look at what I said on Monday about Bitcoin's action. So, low time frame started getting really choppy. Title of my video was "The Chop is Back." We broke down a level that I thought was key to really keeping the impulse going. Now, regardless of that, I was still long. I bought all of my spot Bitcoin back at 18.8, and I am leverage long from 18.8 as well. And I was looking to close my leverage profits if we got to this area, which we did, and I posted those results. Took the profit on that Bitcoin long. That was beautiful. I did not sell my spot Bitcoin, and the action in many of the charts this past week has been quite bullish. So I'm still holding on to that spot Bitcoin, and I actually picked up some additional longs last night on the pullback that we had last night, because the action told me that it was probably going to go even higher. So the question is, what exactly is it doing? And I'm not exactly sure. The bulls certainly still have a path to give us a bottom, actually, but they do still have some work to do. So previously, as of Monday, with all of the chop, I was looking at probably this 20 to 25K area getting hit and then moving down to sub 17.8. And we're not far beyond 20 and a half right now. We're at about 20,000, almost 20,800. So we are still relatively within that range. However, it has gone a bit beyond where it should have if it was going to go down like that. Now we are going to the weekend, so we got to take everything sort of with a grain of salt, but I'll go over some numbers on the chart as well. But regardless, this, I did not short. I didn't add shorts. I was thinking about maybe I might add shorts in that area if the action warranted that. When it didn't, I decided not to, and instead took a scalp long on the pullback, as I said. So watching the low time frame action can really inform your decisions on what to do as the move progresses as well. So I was saying that potentially we were looking at a diagonal for the bulls, this right here. We didn't revisit that to reset wave 2, and so it really doesn't look impulsive. So we needed to give a full 5 wave up to the 22K zone, and that still remains as what the bulls need to do. They haven't quite done that yet, but they're potentially working on it. All right, so let's just jump in, because a lot of what I said previously is kind of breaking down now as far as the bearish perspective. But all right, Bitcoin on Monday was in here, and let me just show you why I was concerned about this not being impulsive. Right, initially this looked promising to maybe make a 5-wave move up, and maybe this was our 1-2 setting up. But as we broke down here, we broke down below that 19.3. That was an issue for an impulsive count, because this then looks a lot more like an ABC, and then we're getting an ABC down, and the idea was we were going to get an ABC up, maybe into that 20 and a half area. Now, obviously, we saw some pretty substantial action instead, and some of the other charts that I was watching are even more bullish than Bitcoin, and that's one of the reasons I didn't jump into shorts, because I'm watching other charts as well. So let's go over the absolutely most bullish possibility is here in green, is that I'm wrong about that being 3 waves, and it actually is the start of the next impulse, because this move was impulsive. I do see 5 waves within that. We then pulled back correctively to finish off this green 2. I don't know why it's over there. This green 2 right here. And we then went to about the 618 of this fib extension here. We went to the 618 and then down to about 382, and that is really a great place for the micro 1 and 2 of wave 3 to go. And then the ideal place for the third wave, that's this little green here, wave 3 of 3, this one right here, is the 1, 2, 3, 6, which is exactly where we topped out earlier in the week. And then yesterday we pulled back to the 7, 6, 4, which is the ideal place for a fourth wave. So even though this initial little micro first wave didn't really look convincing, it is really playing the fibs exactly as it should right now. And so that does leave open the possibility that maybe we actually have an impulse here. Even though the micro move didn't really look like it back in this area, maybe we do. Not 100% convinced, but it's something I'm tracking. So the next move that should happen is we should make it into this box right at about the 1618. That's the next fib level that we should hit, and that's about 21,669. So call it 21.6, 21.7 area basically. That would be wave 5 of 3 in an impulse. From there, we would see a pullback potentially as low as the 1.0 extension at 20,460, and then a move up to about 22.5K. And that's why I said here, 5 waves to 22K, bottom is in already. That's what I was talking about. So let's see if the bulls can do that. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. Action so far is looking pretty strong off of that low, so I think they have a good chance of doing it. Now, the alternative is that this is a diagonal. That's what I have in red here. And that would be 1, 2. It would explain this choppy action, A, B, C of 3. This would actually be A and B most likely, which means we get a drop for C of 4. And this would become our fourth wave then. And that can go back down to like 19.5. Now the problem is, if we start breaking down, we can still head down to these lows if we break below that channel bottom. If it holds here, it could head up to about this 21.7 area, and that would be a fifth wave, potentially in a diagonal. Now the problem with diagonals is that they're three-wave action, they're choppy action, and so it's unclear if this is actually 5 waves or if that's just going to be 3, and then we drop from there. So they're kind of unreliable as trading cues, but it is a possibility. So I'm hoping we don't have to go into that scenario. I'm hoping that this actually continues playing out the impulse. If we can go there, there, and there, bottom's in. That's beautiful. It's exactly what I would want to see. It leaves some questions because this was the ideal area down here to get to. We didn't quite reach it, and so that means this was a truncated bottom. It's not that it doesn't happen, but you do have to be a little more careful about it because normally it should get into the area down here that we had mapped out. So anyway, I think it's good to be cautiously optimistic. At this point, we really should not drop below 19,750, and so that's where my stops are. It does, it could stop me out and then bounce in that diagonal scenario, but as I said, diagonals are pretty unreliable, so I do plan on stopping out below 19,750. Last night I picked up leverage longs right about here. I think 20,200, give or take, was my entry. I had a stop, below 20K basically, and I'm looking for this target here, and that risk reward was just absolutely phenomenal last night, so I couldn't help myself. I had to pick up those leverage longs on Bitcoin there. All right, let's see, we've gone over bear possibility, bull possibility. This technically is still danger zone all the way through here, and we do definitely need to get through that. We've gotten through a couple of the smaller danger zones I had mapped out on there, and I got rid of those now, but the larger danger zone does still stand. That's based on this being a W, X, and Y potentially. It needs to bust through that red box in order to make that less likely. So again, following along this impulsive path would turn that into the most, the highest probability then. that we are not going down, that we've already hit a bottom. Let's just go down real quick to the 5 minute. So if this is correct, if this is 4 down here, this is 5 up here, 5 of 3. You can see I've got a little triangle drawn on here. I was looking at this earlier today. I was looking at this as potentially a 5-wave move right here for wave 1, and then a triangle for wave 2. A, B, C, D, E, basically, roughly, and then a breakout. So I'm looking at that as wave 1 and wave 2, if this is correct. And so we can draw a fib extension then from here to there. That's pretty much the end of that wave. And then we can see that the next moves that happened went to approximately the 618. Pullback came down a little deeper than the 382, but it held the 236. That's still fine. So this can actually be a 1-2 and then micro 1-2. 1-2. So let me just draw that out, and I want you to take a look at what the target is for this, if that's the case. 1, 2, 3 is hopefully going to head to the 1618, 4 down to the 1, and 5 up to the 20. 21,600. Remember how that's my target anyway for this wave 3. So having that confluence right there is gorgeous. I love to see confluence like that. So I'm going to make this like sub-micro like that. Let's just drag these over here. That would be 5 of 5 of 3. If this plays out, again, still has work to do. It's a weekend, so we may or may not get it, but that's the path that it generally should take. And then, as I said, this could be our micro 1-2 in this, which would be this 1, 2, 3 should hit this area. 3 of 3, 21.1. 4 of 3 about there, and 5 of 3 up to 21.4. So I'm going to keep that on there as well. There's our minuscule count within that. So you can see all of these are kind of overlapping and building on top of each other, building that support. That's what we want to see. So let me get rid of that fib just for clarity. But roughly, if we can take this path over the weekend, see a push up, then maybe a consolidation, another push up, another consolidation, another push up, between this weekend and Monday, that gives us a really strong base to continue from in the possible impulse here. All right, I think that pretty much sums it up. Let's see if we can play this path out over the next few days, and we'll touch base again on Monday and see where we are. All right, everybody, stay safe in the any trades that you have, especially if you're leveraged. Make sure you have a good risk reward here, but generally looking for a continuation upwards at this point, unless the micro ends up showing me something different. If we form a new impulse down, then I'll change my mind. But as of right now, this is ripe for continuation upwards. All right, have a great one, and I'll talk to you all on Monday.